We'll start with anxiety. Anxiety comes in many different forms. It could either be acute, which is like panic attacks, or it could be chronic, which is all the time you feel like you're anxious all the time. So panic attacks cause the body to prepare for an emergency situation. It's like a fight or flight. All of a sudden, you get this big adrenaline rush, and your body just feels like you're having to cope with an emergency. It releases adrenaline from the adrenal hormone and is very hard on the immune system and the whole body in general. So it's not good to have a panic attack. It takes years off of your life. Chronic is not as bad as an acute. Every day you may have a hard time in public places, dealing with people, dealing with situations. You never reach the level of a panic attack, so it's not as hard on your body. It is stressful on your immune system. And sometimes you hear about adrenal fatigue. That is, you're using way too much adrenaline, and it wears the body out. So you don't want to set off that adrenal hormone. When you have these attacks, it's impossible to think clearly. Your mind is in a fog. It can cause depression, insomnia, and many other problems with the body and the mind. It's not just the body. Things you can do to cope with anxiety and stress. Number one, deep breathing. It's the most important thing that you can do to get rid of panic attack, to calm yourself down in any situation. And I'm going to show everybody how to properly deep breathe at the end. We don't want anybody deep breathing too hard in here right now. Okay, number two is letting go. Are you okay with holding it? Yeah, okay. You're good at holding it. You need to change your thought patterns to let go. If sometimes you have this pattern going on in your head of things that are stressing you out, and it's like a big circle going over and over and over again, you need to know how to drop it. And a couple things that you can do. One is deal with the situation, figure out what you can do to solve the problem. Once you have figured out a way of dealing with it, to stop that cycle, sometimes you have to just go stop in your mind. If it's going around and around, stop yourself by just saying stop, or some kind of a key word in your mind to stop that process. And it does work. It takes time, and you have to keep checking. But that is one way of letting go, because if you're holding things in, it's way too much stress on your adrenals.
So which means that yoga and meditation is also really good?
Yeah.
Because you sort of help, or you stop your thought flow by thinking about nothing.
Yeah, and breathing deep. Deep breathing comes into that. That's one way to let go as well. Anxiety around Christmas. Lots of people suffer that. It's very stressful when you think about all the things everybody's giving, you feel like you need to give. Is to get ahead of time, 2 months ahead, start thinking about it, and prepare a few things so you have something to give as well.
Or maybe start after Christmas by buying Christmas. Then you save money too.
Yeah. Okay, number 4, food and nutrition. If you eat a balanced diet, you'll be way less, have way less anxiety, because you're balancing out all your minerals, which is what affects the nervous system. You need the minerals, and Annette is going to talk a bit about diet.
Yeah, I'll just mention that calcium and magnesium is really important in the relaxation of your relaxation of your body and your mind. It's kind of scary. Voice in this.
Speak loud. That's okay. You're good at it.
Yeah.
In Chinese medicine, they look at calcium magnesium as a relaxant and calmer instead of like we do in the Western medicine where we look at it as a bone builder.
Magnesium, magnesium stops muscle spasms, twitches. Magnesium calms muscles. The brain is a muscle. The heart is a muscle. Take magnesium and you will calm yourself. It helps with anxiety and stress.
And also with sleep. So where do you find calcium and magnesium? And of course our biggest thing here today is seaweed, which comes in all sorts. Another way is greens, you know, kale, spinach. Pulses, like beans, lentils, vegetables, nuts, seeds, and also whole grains. It's also important for relaxation to have chlorophyll, and of course the greens are full of it, but the most potent chlorophylls are the cereal grasses and microalgae like spirulina and chlorella.
And here is what spirulina looks like. It's a microalgae powder. So full of minerals and nutrition, protein, everything. You can survive on spirulina alone. And it's an algae.
Very good brain food.
Yes. This is kelp powder. It's a really reasonable way to get kelp. If you look at, hold up the kelp. Oh, I'm sorry. Hold up the kelp. That's one. Okay, so a bag of kelp, the price is what?
$9.55.
$9.55. There's about 1,000 of those in here for $5. So you need just a very little pinch. And so that's a really good, reasonable way. It doesn't taste quite as good as that, and you can't disguise it as well as that, but it is a good, cheap, reasonable way of getting popcorn. Sure, popcorn's fantastic in popcorn.
And I usually also add it to almost everything I make. I just add a quarter teaspoon or half a teaspoon just to get the minerals.
This kind of kelp is really easy to use. You can take one strand of it and put it in when you're cooking soups, stews, rice, pasta, anything. Put it in. You can either take it back out at the end of the meal, all the minerals end up in the dish, or you can just leave it in and eat it. It breaks up into little pieces as well. It totally disguises it. Nobody even knows that it is in there. So that's a really good way of getting your minerals.
I would know this.
You would know? Okay. This is called Aramie, and it's from the Pacific. It looks like little black worms. And what you do is you just put it in water and reconstitute it in hot water for 15 minutes, and it thickens up, and you can add little pieces of it to salads. You can add it to anything. You can have it as a little side dish. You can mix it with soy sauce. You can saute some onions and garlic and mix it in with that and use it as a little side dish. It's a really good way of getting your minerals, and it's interesting looking.
Perfect if you're going to make Chinese stir fry or something like that.
Yeah. Okay, the wakame. Pacific wakame. This wakame is from the kelp family as well. I find you can make burgers that taste like fish if you're a vegetarian
and haven't tasted any fish for 25 years.
You make some rice and beans, turn them into a mush, add some of this, and they taste like salmon burgers, if you like that kind of thing. So that's another way of dealing with wakame. I just remember that from 30 years ago. Okay. Yeah, and this is wakame as well, and it's in strands, so you can add that to dishes as you're cooking. Yeah, but you wouldn't want to just eat that. Here we got some samples to try. So Annette is going to hand them out. First, we're going to start with dulse. It comes from the East Coast, and it's a red seaweed, and it is full of iron. It's very high in iron, as well as other minerals. And you can just snack on it the way it is, or add it to anything as you're cooking it. If you get a chance to come by and look at this book, it has a little calcium chart. And this is just about calcium, but all the other minerals are similar. So just as an example, you think, okay, your parents said, drink your milk for your calcium. Well, 3.5 ounces of milk is 119 milligrams of calcium. When you think that you need like 1,000 to 1,200 a day, that's a lot of milk that you have to drink, and then you get all that mucus and everything else from the milk. If you eat any of the seaweeds, starting with hejiki, which is like the alaria, or which is like the aramie, it is 1,400 in 3.5 ounces. It's 1,400 milligrams of calcium compared to the 114. So it's 10 times as potent, and that goes for all of them. The wakame is 1,300. The kelp is 1,000, and kombu. That's the very top of the calcium list is seaweeds. So that's the best way of getting your calcium and magnesium and other minerals. Okay.
You can also get it in leafy greens, right?
Yeah, you can get it in leafy
More
greens.
than in milk.
Yeah, so, well, is kale on there? I think so. Kale is 134. So kale has more than milk.
Short hair.
Okay, so another way of dealing with anxiety and stress is to bring control back into your life. If you feel like sometimes there's too much going on and life is out of control, and that can happen when you have young children, for sure. That's one of the ways.
Don't have kids.
No. The best thing you can do, for starters, is organize yourself. Make lists, whatever it takes to be ahead of the game rather than always behind. So in the evening, figure out what you're going to be doing the next day and make lists so that then you can drop it from your mind. That's one of those times that you can just go stop because you've already worked it out. So bringing control back into your life, that's a really good way of dealing with it. Okay, and then yoga and relaxation. And Annette has got a few things to say about that.
I think it's really important to take walks in fresh air, because it's not only the exercise that's going to help oxygenate your brain and your body, it's also the oxygen itself is going to help you much more than doing exercise inside. I would say you maybe have the double benefit, not quite sure. Music is also really good. If heavy metal gives you relief, then heavy metal is good for you. If you need classical music, then classical music is good for you. It depends on who you are and what chemistry you have, what you like. Yeah. Anything should help you, as long as it gives you relief.
If the kids play heavy metal, put their stereo out on the porch where you don't have to hear it.
Yes, or put in your earplugs.
But when your kids complain that the music is too loud, you kick the kids out instead. It's also a nice thing to do is to massage your partner, or even better, have your partner to massage you. And there is...
Oh, sorry.
And there is different kind of massage oils. This is a carrier oil and almond oil, but you can use bergamot, lavender, St. John's wort oil. There is different kind of oils that's relaxing.
Not to mention the actual massage. It's a really good thing to do with your partner. It renews all different kinds of things, and it definitely drops the stress. And you could just make a date and say, every Sunday night or something, we're gonna have a massage. If you don't have a partner,
There are those electric
Massage
massager
yourself.
things you can get.
find a friend. Go and see somebody who does massage.
Or a warm bath,
Yeah.
or a sauna, it's really good. I also wanted to just mention what kind of supplements that that might be helpful. You have calcium, magnesium that we already talked about, but also just taking a multivitamin could help you. And of course, most people have heard about the B stress, and that's not for nothing that it's called B stress. B vitamins are really important in balancing out our body, our mental clarity, everything. And also omega-3 is really important, which you can get through either salmon, like Barbara doesn't quite remember how it tastes anymore,
Flax.
or hemp hearts.
Yeah.
And also chia seeds are really high in omega-3.
Okay. Another thing you can do to alleviate stress is stop saying yes to everybody for everything. Pick your things that you want to help out with and stop at a certain point. Some people just take on way too much. Learn how to say no to people, and that's okay to say no. For your own, you need to ground yourself. Another thing is stop doing extracurricular activities. Maybe choose one and don't go out every night. Stay home with your family. It's very grounding and less stressful. So sometimes you have to learn how to say no. I just want to talk about some of these tinctures that you can take. Here we have Gotu Kola. It's for mental clarity. It helps with mental clarity. These are all herbs. Here we have Skullcap. It restores the nerves and it's a mild sedative. So Skullcap and Valerian over here. These are things that you can take at night. This is a natural sedative as well. And there are teas that have valerian and skullcap in them. So those are really good things for that. Holy basil is an anti-stress support. If you find that you spend a lot of time stressed out, this is the thing for you. This is a really good herb. This is ashwagandha. It's a nerve sedative if you find that you're very nervous. And it promotes vitality as well, so that's a good one. For anxiety and mental depression, St. John's wort. Lots of people come off of their pharmaceuticals and for depression and stay on St. John's wort. You have to do that with the doctor's help. And rhodiola, it uplifts the mood, helps with stress reactions, and it builds stamina as well. And here we have something called Feel Calm Elixir, and it has a lot of those things in it. So there's different ways, different tinctures that you can take for that. Another thing is SAM-E. As you can see, it says supports mood and helps relieve osteoarthritic pain. It's very expensive. It's like $70 for 60 tablets, but if you've run out of every other thing, this really works. So that's an expensive option after you've tried everything else. This is like a 1 month supply. It's got 60 tablets, so it's 2 a day. So it's really expensive, but it works. But all kinds of other things work as well, so it's worth trying other things.
But we have had customers that's been doing maybe 2 or 3 times and then they haven't done it again. Sort of seems like it's been helping them
balance them out a bit.
Yeah. One of the side effects of anxiety and stress is sleeplessness because your head can't stop spinning. Some people have also used this rescue remedy for sleep, mainly it's used in the daytime. It's a flower remedy and it also comes in the rescue sleep. It helps you spray it in your mouth and it works pretty instantly. I am actually surprised how effective flower remedies are. It also comes in pastilles, so some people will use just a regular rescue remedy for sleep. Some people have sleeping trouble because they are low on melatonin, and something that also can come with when your serotonin level is low, with depression and something.
And sometimes what makes your serotonin low, that's where the third eye, they call it, the pineal gland. That's where all those hormones are made. If it's not dark at night, if you have lights or it's too bright in your room, you can actually not build up melatonin and serotonin. So it's very important if you have a sleep disorder to either wear a mask or have your room dark. It's really important.
So some people find that helpful and other people don't find anything helpful. So it varies. We also have the Sedatil, which is helps with nervousness, but can also help with sleeping trouble.
That's a magnesium deficiency. Twitching of the muscles, the eyes, the muscles in your arms, those are key things that tell you that you are magnesium deficient.
Also restless legs.
Restless leg, yeah.
And I usually, in the morning, I stretch out my feet before I get up. And that's sort of, if I feel like I almost get a cramp when I'm doing it, I know I'm low on some minerals.
You love on minerals. She loves those minerals.
I love them. I'm low on them.
And another thing is grinding your teeth. If you have a teeth grinding problem, that is a magnesium deficiency. Yeah. Muscle cramps, a heart attack can be a magnesium deficiency. That muscle's cramping. Any other questions?
Does Candida, does it go with stress? Does that have any effects?
Candida?
Yeah.
Yeah, Candida is an overgrowth of a yeast, a Candida yeast in your body. Sugar can cause you to get Candida, and that can cause depression. And they did a study in prisons and in mental institutes, and they found everybody had an overgrowth of Candida from the food that they were eating there, probably. So that can definitely cause depression and anxiety. Apples are full of magnesium as well.
And very yummy.
Did you find those on the beach?
That's my treat.
Oh, thank you.
Golden delicious.
They look really delicious. Thank you.
Lately, people have been saying that everybody's short of vitamin D in the winter because of the sun, but that doesn't contribute to stress, does it?
It doesn't contribute to stress, but it contributes to depression. So vitamin D is a mood lifter, and that's true. They've proven actually that that people who live in the north are definitely deficient in vitamin D compared to people who live in the south. And you know, you can get cancer from not enough vitamin D as well. So vitamin D is important for depression and for mood.
And it's also important for the absorption of calcium and
That's right.
magnesium.
Yeah, good.
What about the omegas?
Omegas feed the brain. They make the cells in your body supple, so that oxygen can flow easily. So omegas are really important. So that's like omega-3, 6, and 9. Omega-3 is very important. Our body does not make omega-3. You have to get that through food. That's why salmon, flax, and nuts and seeds, different kinds of oils, that's really, really important is the omegas. It definitely feeds the brain, allows you to be able to think clearer.
And also oil all in your joints,
Yeah.
so you have less trouble with inflammation.
Any other questions over there in the corner?
He's a good doctor. How much did you pay him?
It's another $10. Got another question? Did you give everybody a taste of the cow?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so feel free to come up and have a look at the calcium chart or have another bite.
One more question.
Yeah.
And it was about this.
Sedatil.
Yeah, you said that was.
It works for insomnia, for nervousness. You can take it 3 times a day and it can totally make it so you're not nervous. People have a hard time in public, like going to a party and they think, oh, oh, you know, there's gonna be so many people there, and you know, that helps. You can take, and it's homeopathy, so so it's not harmful with anything. You can even drink with that. It'll help you to calm down a little bit and not be so nervous. But what I want to say is, if you find that you have a really hard time going out in public situations because you're afraid of that you're going to say the wrong thing, or it could be any reason that you just get stressed out. Lots of people, it happens to lots of people. It's okay to be a really good listener. You don't have to say anything. Not enough people listen. So if you're stressed out because you're afraid that you're going to say the wrong thing at a party or something, don't say anything. Just go and listen.
Ask them how they are and then listen.
Yeah, I mean, you don't even have to open your mouth. Like, you can just sit there and listen. Lots of people just love to talk. So you can be a good listener, and that really helps with anxiety. You don't have to worry about getting anxious. Go to that party. Just stand there and listen. That's good advice. I do that all the time. I'm one of those people, I don't like going into big public situations. So I deep breathe and don't say anything.
That's not quite true.
Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. We will be getting Barb and Annetta back for more of these very informative sessions because, yeah, you've got lots of good things to share with people. Thank you.